They completely forget that Harry and Dudley are still in the room. Dudley does not like to be ignored, and he says very loudly, "I want to read that letter." "I want to read it," Harry says furiously. "It is my letter," yells Uncle Vernon. "Both of you." He pushes Harry and Dudley out of the kitchen and closes the door. Harry and Dudley fight to see who has the best position to listen. At the door, Harry loses and has to lay on the floor and look under the door. Dudley listens through the keyhole. "They know he's here," says Aunt Petunia. "But how do they know where he lives?" "Under the stairs." "They might be following us." "Spying on us," Uncle Vernon says in a scared voice. "What should we do?" Vernon asks Aunt Petunia. "We must ignore it if they don't get an answer." "Yes, we won't do anything." Aunt Petunia tries to protest. "But I will not allow one in my house." "Petunia, we promised when Harry came to the house that we would avoid all that dangerous behavior." The next morning at breakfast, everyone is behaving very strangely. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia both have angry looks on their faces, and they are trying to ignore Harry. Dudley is very angry because he was ignored the day before, and Harry wishes he had opened the letter and read it properly. The mail arrives again while they are at the table. Dudley goes to pick it up off the floor. There's another letter for Harry. He yells to his parents, "Mr. H. Potter, the tiniest room in the house for private drive." Uncle Vernon jumps from his chair and makes a strange sound as he runs to the front door. Harry is running for the door too. Uncle Vernon fights with Dudley to get the letter from his hands. Harry jumps on Uncle Vernon's back and puts his arms around his neck and tries to grab the letter too. Uncle Vernon finally wins and takes the letter from Dudley. "Go to your closet, Harry. To your room." Uncle Vernon is scared. Someone powerful knows where Harry lives. He thinks they will continue to send Harry letters. He will not allow that to happen anymore. He has a plan. Harry also has a plan. He wakes up very early the next morning, so he can be the first one to receive the mail. His plan is to wait for the mailman outside on the corner of Private Drive and get the letters first. Harry is walking down the corridor toward the door. It is very dark. The sun has not risen yet. Suddenly, Harry jumps into the air with fright. It is Uncle Vernon. Uncle Vernon is sleeping on the floor, in front of the door, waiting for the mailman too. Harry has just stepped on Uncle Vernon's face. Harry is told to go back to his closet again. Soon Harry can hear the mail slot opening and closing, and the letters fall into Uncle Vernon's hands. Harry looks out of his little room and sees there are 3 letters for him. But Uncle Vernon is tearing them into little pieces. Uncle Vernon does not go to work that day. He is too worried about what is happening the next day. He is waiting at the door for the letters. 12 letters arrive for Harry that day. Uncle Vernon decides he cannot go to work that day either. After burning the letters, he looks for a hammer and some nails, and uses a piece of wood to block the mail slot in the door. He also blocks the front door and back door, so no one can come in or leave. On Saturday, things begin to go crazy. 24 letters manage to enter the house. They are hidden in the eggs and under the milk. The milkman delivers that morning, and Petunia has to receive them through a small window. In the living room, on Sunday morning, Uncle Vernon seems happy and calm. The mailman does not deliver mail on Sundays. He says while Harry is preparing eggs in the kitchen. Finally, no letters today. Something comes flying rapidly down the kitchen chimney. As he is talking, the thing hits Uncle Vernon on the back of the head. In the next instant, 30 or 40 letters come flying out of the chimney, like bullets. Uncle Vernon pushes everyone out of the kitchen and shuts the door behind him. That's it, he says. We are leaving right now. I want all of you back here in 5 minutes. Ready to leave, pack some clothes, and let's go. No arguments. They all pile into the car. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia look scared. Dudley is sad because he cannot bring his VCR and video games. They drive and drive and drive. It seems like Uncle Vernon doesn't know where he is going, and no one has the courage to ask him. They do not stop to eat or drink all day. Dudley was almost crying from hunger. It is the worst day of his life so far. They sleep in a dark motel at night and eat dry cereal for breakfast. In the motel, there is a letter waiting for Harry when they check out. Excuse me, is one of you Mr. H? Potter, this here letter arrived this morning. The receptionist says to Uncle Vernon as they are leaving. Written in green ink on the envelope is the address. Mr. H. Potter, Room 17, Railview Hotel, Cokeworth. Harry tries to grab the letter, but Uncle Vernon is faster. Soon they are back in the car and on the road. They drive for hours. No one knows what he is looking for. They drive through forests and fields. Uncle Vernon stops in the middle of a long bridge and looks around, but he obviously does not like what he sees. He gets back into the car and drives away. Daddy has gone crazy, hasn't he? Dudley asks Aunt Petunia as they stop in a parking garage near the sea. It's Monday. I want to watch the new episode of The Great Umberto. He continues. Monday thanks Harry. Then he remembers tomorrow is his 11th birthday. His birthdays are never fun, but turning 11 only happens once in your life. Uncle Vernon returns to the car after going into a shop near the parking garage. He is carrying something long and thin in a paper bag. Out. Everyone at I found the perfect place. Let's go, he says. Uncle Vernon is pointing into the distance. Out into the sea. He is pointing at a little cabin on a rock. Far into the water. For sure there is no television on that island, thinks Harry. They walk down to the pier and get into a little boat with oars. All aboard, yells Uncle Vernon. It is very cold in the boat. The wind is beginning to blow very hard. And it starts to rain. A storm is coming. They row for hours until they reach the rock island. They climb an old path up to an old broken-down house. It is horrible inside. It smells like old seaweed and fish. The wine and the rain come through holes in the walls and ceiling. There are only 2 rooms, and Harry has to share a wet and uncomfortable room with Dudley. As night comes, the storm begins to blow stronger and louder. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia go to sleep in one dirty bed, and Dudley sleeps in the other bed in the other room. Harry has to find the softest place on the hard floor. He has only a dirty, old blanket filled with holes to keep him warm. Harry cannot sleep. He waits excitedly as his birthday comes closer and closer. Just before midnight, he begins to hear strange sounds from outside. Something hard hitting a rock. Noises that sound like footsteps. 30 seconds to go. 20. 10-9. Harry thinks about waking Dudley up just to annoy him. 3-2. 1. Boom. The whole house shakes. Harry sits up in surprise. He looks at the door. There is someone outside. They want to come in. Chapter for the Keeper of the Keys. Boom. The knock comes again. Uncle Vernon runs into the room. "Who's there?" he shouts. He is holding a rifle in his hands. Now everyone understands what he was carrying in the bag the day before. "Who is it? I warn you." "I have a gun." There is a pause. Smash! The door is hit so hard that it breaks and comes flying into the room. There is a man in the doorway. A giant man. His face is almost completely covered with long, messy hair and a big black beard. But you can see his eyes, like points of light under his hair. The giant man comes through the doorway and into the room. His head almost touches the ceiling. "Could you make us a cup of tea, please? It has been very difficult to find you," says the giant, and here's Harry. "The last time I saw you, you was only a baby. You look a lot like your dad, but you have your mother's eyes. I demand that you leave right now," yells Uncle Vernon. "You are in this house illegally." Shut up, Darcy. You big fool," says the giant. He reaches over and takes the gun out of Uncle Vernon's hands. He bends the barrel of the gun into a knot, as if the gun were made of rubber. He throws the gun into a corner of the room. Uncle Vernon makes a sound, like someone stepping on a mouse. Ha ha. While Harry continues, "The giant, happy birthday to you. 11 years old, congratulations." Harry looks at the giant in surprise. "Who are you?" asks Harry. "Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. I I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Rubius Hagrid, keeper of keys and grounds at Hogwarts. But you can call me Hagrid. Everybody does. I'm sure you know all about Hogwarts. Of course, No, answers Harry. Excuse me, says Hagrid, looking shocked. You don't know about Hogwarts. Hagrid looks angrily at the Dursleys, who try to hide in a corner. I knew you weren't receiving all the letters we sent you, but I never thought you didn't know about Hogwarts. For crying out loud! Didn't you ever wonder where your parents learned? All of it, all of what? Asked Harry, very confused now. All of what? Hagrid yells. You didn't tell this boy anything about Hogwarts. He asks the Dursleys in a voice that sounds like a storm. Hagrid looks back at Harry and asks, You don't know anything about our world. I mean your world, Harry. My world, your parents' world. What world? Asks Harry. Hagrid looks like he is about to explode. Dursley. He yells. Uncle Vernon is shaking with terror. But Harry, says Hagrid, you must know about your mom and dad. I mean, they're famous. You're famous too. They were famous, really. My mom and dad, says Harry. You don't know, says Hagrid sadly. You don't know who you are. Do you, Harry? You don't know what you are. Stop, yells Uncle Vernon, who finds some courage to speak. I forbid you to tell him anything. Oh, go sit on some nails, Dursley. You great fat pot of pudding, answers Hagrid. Harry, you're a wizard. I'm a what? Gasps Harry. A wizard, of course, says Hagrid, one of the best. At least when you learn a thing or two. With a mom and dad like yours, what else would you be? I think it's time you read your letter. Hagrid reaches into his pocket and pulls out a yellow envelope with emerald green ink written on it. The address reads Mr. H. Potter, the Floor House on the Rock. The sea. Harry takes out the letter and begins to read. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Headmaster Albus Dumbledore. Dear Mr. Potter, we are happy to inform you that you have been accepted at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. In this envelope, there is a list of all the necessary books and equipment you will need for your studies. The term begins on September 1st. We expect your answer by all no later than July 31st. Yours sincerely, Minerva McGonagall, Deputy Headmistress. Harry has so many questions that he doesn't know which question to ask first. Then Hagrid asks, Well, Harry, are you ready to go? Hogwarts awaits you. Before Harry can answer, Uncle Vernon says he's not going. I'd like to see you try to stop him. You great fat muggle. Growls Hagrid. What's a muggle? Asked Harry, very interested. A muggle, says Hagrid. It's what we call non-magic people, like your uncle here. And it's bad luck. You grew up in a family of the worst kind of muggle. We made a promise when we accepted Harry that we would never allow him to be a wizard. It's all nonsense anyway, you knew. Asked Harry, you knew I'm a wizard. New yells and Petunia knew. Of course we knew. Especially since my horrible sister was what she was. She got a letter just like you. And then she disappeared and went to that school and came home every vacation with her pockets full of magic nonsense. She turned our teacups into rats. She was a freak. But my mother and father always loved her best. Lily this and Lily that. They were proud there was a witch in the family. She pauses to take a breath, and then continues in an angry voice. Then she met that Potter boy at school. And they got married and had you. And I knew you were going to be just the same. Just as strange, just as abnormal. And then she went and got killed. And we got stuck with you. She was killed, yells Harry. You told me she died in a car crash. Car crash, Hagrid screams at the Dursleys. How could a car crash kill Lily and James Potter? That's ridiculous. I can't believe. Harry Potter does not know his own story. Even when every kid in our world knows his name. Hagrid looks sad. I had no idea. Dumbledore said it might be difficult to find you. But I didn't know it was this bad. But Harry, I don't know if I'm the right person to tell you your story. But someone has to tell you. You can't go to Hogwarts without knowing the truth. About your past, he looks at the Dursleys with an angry expression on his face. Well, I'll try to tell you as best as I can. I don't know everything myself. It's a big mystery, some parts of the story. It begins with a person called. Who asks Harry the First? Don't really like saying his name. No one in our world likes saying his name. Answers Hagrid, why not? Great goblins, Harry. People are still scared of him. Oh, this is difficult. Well, there was this wizard who turned bad. As bad as you could be, worse than worse. His name was. Hagrid cannot finish. Finally, he says slowly in a low voice. His name was Voldemort. I can't say it again, Harry. Anyway, this wizard about 20 years ago turned bad and started looking for followers. He was becoming more and more powerful. They were dark days, Harry. You didn't know who to trust. Bad things started to happen to good wizards and witches. He started taking control of everything. But there were some people who tried to stop him. They tried to go against him, and he killed them all. He killed them in terrible ways. One of the only safe places for us was Hogwarts. I think Dumbledore was the only one. You know who was afraid of. He didn't try to attack the school, at least at first. Harry is filled with wonder as he listens to the story. Hagrid continues, "Now your mom and dad were the best witch and wizard. You could know. They were head boy and head girl at Hogwarts in their day, but you know who must have been afraid of them? Because about 10 years ago, he discovered where they were. And you were with them, Harry. You were just a baby of 1. You were. He found your mom and dad on Halloween. He came to your house and Hagrid suddenly takes out a large handkerchief and blows his nose like a giant horn. I'm sorry, he says. But it's a sad story it is. Your mom and dad were the nicest people you could meet. Anyway, you know who killed them. And then he tried to kill you. And this is the biggest mystery of all. He couldn't kill you. Did you ever wonder how you got that mark on your forehead? That was no ordinary cut. That's the mark of a powerful curse on you. It destroyed your mother and father and your house. But you survived, that's why you're famous, Harry. While Harry listens to the story, he begins to remember images in his mind. Green flashes of light and for the first time, a laugh, ha-ha. A high cold, cruel laugh. I found you in the house, Harry, under some debris. Continues Hagrid, Dumbledore told me to find you and bring you to these here muggles. Hagrid looks at the Dursleys with disgust on his face. At that moment, Uncle Vernon begins speaking angrily. Now you listen to me, boy. We took you into our home. We accepted you even though there was something strange and different about you. And your parents, they were freaks. No good wizards and witches. And they got what they deserved and... Before Uncle Vernon can continue, Hagrid jumps up from the sofa where he is sitting. He takes an old pink umbrella from his coat and points it at Uncle Vernon like a sword and says, I'm warning you, Darcy. One more word and I'll... Uncle Vernon loses all his courage, and he becomes silent. That's better, says Hagrid. But what happened to Vault? Sorry, I mean, you know who? Asks Harry. Good question, Harry. He disappeared, he vanished. That's the biggest mystery of all. No one knows where he is. He was so powerful. And now he's just gone. Some say he died. That's nonsense if you ask me. Some say he is still out there waiting. I don't believe it, but the ones who went to his side, the dark side, they all came back. So he must be gone for good. But he lost his powers. I think he's too weak to continue fighting. Something about you took away all his strength, Harry. Something happened that night with you. With him, nobody knows what happened. And that's the mystery, but he's gone. But Harry is confused now. He does not believe that he is a wizard, and certainly not a famous wizard, after all the abuse he receives from the Dursleys. Hagrid says, Harry, I think you have made a mistake. I don't think I can be a wizard. Hagrid laughs, oh. Not a wizard, eh? You never made strange things happen when you were scared or angry. Harry thinks about this. All the things that have made the Dursleys angry with him have happened when he was angry or upset, especially at the zoo a few days ago. He made the glass disappear, and he let the boa constrictor free right. Harry looks back at Hagrid and smiles. Hagrid smiles back at him. "See," says Hagrid. "Harry, you may doubt yourself now. But just wait until you go to Hogwarts. You'll see, but Uncle Vernon is not going to let Harry go without a fight. I told you he is not going. He's going to a normal school, and he will thank us for it. I have read all those letters you sent him, nonsense. If he wants to go to Hogwarts, a muggle like you can't stop him. He's Lily and James Potter's son. He'll go to Hogwarts, and he'll be with young people like him. People who will respect him for who he is. And he'll be taught by the greatest headmaster there is, Albus Dumbledore. I will not pay for some crazy old man to teach him silly magic tricks," yells Uncle Vernon. But Uncle Vernon has gone too far this time. Hagrid picks up his umbrella. "Never," he yells. "Insult Albus Dumbledore in front of me." He moves his umbrella towards Dudley, and there is a bright flash of violet light and the sound of a firecracker. Dudley screams and puts his hand on his fat bottom. He begins jumping up and down in pain. There is a hole in his pajama pants, with a little pink tail sticking out. Uncle Vernon yells in terror and takes Aunt Petunia and Dudley into the other room and slams the door. "I don't think my spell worked," says Hagrid, confused. "I wanted to turn him into a pig." "Oh, well, he is fat enough already." He looks at Harry. I would appreciate it if you were. Didn't say anything about this to anyone at Hogwarts. Harry, I'm not supposed to, use magic." "Why can't you use magic?" Hagrid asks Harry. "Oh, well, I was at Hogwarts myself, but I was expelled. But Dumbledore let me stay and be the gamekeeper. Dumbledore is a great man. Why were you expelled?" "Oh, Harry, it's getting late. Take my coat and lie down here by the fire and get some sleep. We have lots to do tomorrow," says Hagrid. "Hogwarts awaits you, Harry." Chapter 5, Diagonal Alley. Harry wakes up early the next morning. He tells himself that everything is just a dream. There is no giant named Hagrid. There is no school for wizards. I am still in my room under the stairs. He thinks, but it is such a good dream that he keeps his eyes closed. But he finally sits up and opens his eyes. To his surprise, he is not in his little room under the stairs. He is in the old broken-down house on the rock, in the middle of the ocean, And there on a sofa in front of him is a sleeping giant. It is Hagrid. Harry cannot believe it. He is so happy. He feels like he will explode. Hagrid opens his eyes, yawns with a huge open mouth and stretches. "Oh, good morning, Harry. I hope you slept well," says Hagrid. He looks up at the sun coming through the window and says it's time to go, Harry. "We've lots to do today. We have to get to London to buy all your things for school." Harry suddenly feels sad again. "Hagrid," he says, "I don't have any money to pay for anything. You heard Uncle Vernon. He won't pay for the school." "Don't worry, Harry," says Hagrid. As he stands up, "Your parents left you something at Gringotts. It's a bank for wizards. Wizards have banks. Just the one Gringotts. It's operated by goblins." "Goblins?" Harry asks. He can't believe his own ears. "That's right, it's the safest place in the world to keep your important things. I have to visit Gringotts anyway for Dumbledore." Hagrid explains. "Do you have all your things good? Let's go then." Outside on the rock, the sky is clear. The storm is gone, but the little boat is there waiting for them. Harry says, "Hagrid, I'm not supposed to use magic outside of Hogwarts, but we can go a lot faster in the boat with some magic." "I won't say anything, Hagrid," says Harry. He is excited to see some more magic. Hagrid takes out his pink umbrella and taps the side of the boat twice. The boat speeds away back to land. They leave the boat and finally arrive at the train station in the little town. Luckily, there is a train leaving in 5 minutes for London. On the train, Hagrid asks Harry, "Do you still have your letter?" Harry takes the letter out of his pocket and shows it to Hagrid. "Good. It has a list of everything we need to buy for you." Harry looks at the paper. There is a long list of things he needs to buy, including things for his uniform, 3 sets of plain black robes, a pointed hat, some gloves made of dragon skin, and a winter cloak. Then there is a list of books about spells and the history of magic, a beginner's guide to transfiguration, a book on herbs and fungi, a book on potions, one about beasts and where to find them. Then there is a book on the dark forces. The list also includes a wand, a cauldron, a telescope, and a set of scales and a set of glass cups. Harry reads out loud from the paper. Students may also bring an owl or a cat or a toad. But no broomstick. Can we buy all this in London? Hagrid, if you know where to go, answers Hagrid. Soon they arrive at the London train station. They walk for some time down the narrow streets until they arrive at a small, dirty-looking bar. "This is it," says Hagrid. "The Leaky Cauldron. It's a famous place." Harry and Hagrid enter. It is dark and dirty. There are a few people sitting at the bar and sitting at tables, and they all stop and stare when they see Harry. "Good Lord," says the bartender, looking closely at Harry. "Is that Can it be well? I cannot believe it. It is Harry Potter. What an honor! The bartender, who is a little old bald man, comes quickly towards Harry and shakes his hand. There are tears in his eyes. Welcome back, Mr. Potter, welcome back. Everyone is looking at Harry. Then they all get up and come say hello. A young man with a very pale face comes towards Harry. Professor Quirrell, says Hagrid. Harry, Professor Quirrell will be one of your teachers at Hogwarts. Mr. P.P. Potter stammers Professor Quirrell. I am so happy to finally meet you. What kind of magic do you teach? Professor Quirrell asks Harry. Defense against the dark arts? He answers he seems scared to even talk about it. Of course you will not need it. Right, Potter? All right, everyone. We must go, says Hagrid. We still have lots to do. Come on, Harry. As they leave, Hagrid looks at Harry and says, See, Harry, I told you you're famous. They soon arrive at a small courtyard. There is nothing there but a stone wall. Now where's my umbrella? Hagrid asks himself. Oh, here we go. 3 stones up, 2 stones across. He taps the wall with his umbrella, and suddenly the stones begin to move and shift. In front of Harry, a large archway appears out of nowhere. There is an old stone street that twists this way, and that then disappears into the distance. Welcome to Diagonal Alley, says Hagrid. Harry is filled with amazement. They walk through the arch, and then Harry looks behind him. The opening they have just walked through begins to close almost instantly. The hole disappears, and there is only the solid stone wall. The sun is shining as they walk down the street. Harry cannot believe his eyes. There are shops and stores of all different kinds, selling every kind of magic item imaginable. There is even a store that sells several kinds of owls. There are broomstick shops and cauldron vendors, robe makers and potion sellers. Here we are, Harry Gringotts, says Hagrid. They are standing in front of a large white building next to the large doors. Wearing a red and gold uniform is That's a goblin, Harry, says Hagrid. The goblin is much shorter than Harry. He has an intelligent dark face, with a pointed beard and long fingers and feet. He bows as they walk inside the building. They are in a vast hall made of marble. There are about 100 more goblins in the room. They are sitting on high chairs behind a long counter. They are writing in books, weighing coins, and examining precious stones using special eyeglasses. The hall is full of doors, too many to count. The goblins are taking people in and out of the many doors. Good morning, says Hagrid when they approach the counter. We've come to take out some money from Mr. Harry Potter's safe. Do you have his key, sir? Asks one of the goblins. It's here somewhere, says Hagrid, as he searches his many pockets in his huge coat. "Oh, I found it,"